Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? What a beautiful day it was today. The sun was shining. It was really nice to get out and get some of that vitamin D. I hope you all had a good day. I didn't do much, but I did have lunch with one of my old teachers. Miss Irene Kelly. I ran across her on Facebook a while back, and I messaged her and asked her if she remembered me. And she said, sure she did. So I drove to a little town called Hickson, and her and I went for lunch. During lunch, I asked her what kind of student I was. And she said, oh dear, you are smart and you are helpful. And then she said, but then I tell all my students that. I had a really fun time. She was so cute. And then after that, I just came home and chilled. Chuck was busy with Dexter today. Of course, with the weather being nice, Dexter had to go to the park, and everything's muddy. So before he could come in the house, he had to go for a bath. But anyway, when I got home, well, I got an alert on my cell phone from my bank. My credit card had been accessed. They wanted me to call them immediately, so I did. And apparently my credit card was accessed in a town called Brampton, which is kind of like a suburb of Toronto. And luckily they didn't get any money, but I know where it happened. I know how it happened. A while back, I was on Facebook, what's it called, buy and sell or whatever, and I seen this stainless steel garbage can. I thought, that's really cool, because it had 3 different compartments, for your wet stuff, your jars, cardboard, whatever. And it wasn't very expensive, so I just ordered it. And I had to give some of my credit card information. Never thought anything of it. I'm getting older. So I completely forgot that I ordered the damn thing. And I never got the garbage can. So what they did is they took my information and created a credit card. But lucky for me, nothing ever happened. But anyway, while I was in there, dealing with all this bank bullshit, I looked at my investments, and then I had to do a few other things, and then I looked at them again. Overnight, $6,000 disappeared. $6,000 gone. And that's due to what's going on in the world right now. Will it come back? Hopefully. I mean, I've seen this happen before. It was way worse during COVID. But yeah, $6,000 overnight. So I'm not too happy about that. But we'll just have to wait and see what goes on with the market. And then, of course, I listened to Mark Carney's speech over in Australia. And over here in Canada, we just cut a huge deal with India, which is a huge, enormous trade deal with India. So in 150 days, that's when Trump's tariffs are no longer. That's when everybody can collect what he's already taken, and he cannot charge them anymore. And I'm sure that'll be the next big kick in the stock market. And then also, too, I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but do you know you're at war with Ecuador, too? Yeah. You're down there in Ecuador fighting. You got boots on the ground in Ecuador. And you're going to hear all sorts of shit. But I'll tell you why you're down there. Because it's really not making the news. But the real reason you're down there is because the leader of that country, or whatever, his last name is Baboa. He's a big banana guy. A lot of money comes out of Ecuador with bananas. And he's Trump's friend. Him and his wife are always at Malargo partying with Trump. So Trump's down there using your military to guard his fucking bananas. Now, there are cartels on the ground down there, but again, Trump is using your military. Never before in history has this been done. Never. Oh, sorry about that. I lost connection. So that's more money. You're now involved in a bunch of bullshit down there. And also, too, out in the sea somewhere, for the first time since World War II, a submarine has been used to blow up a ship. So a United States submarine blew up a ship today. Old Captain Bone Spurs. Meanwhile, his cabinet is all over television and the internet, now claiming that this war could last up to 8 weeks. So United States, and I mean, we know they lie all the time, so yeah, you're looking about if they're saying 8 weeks, it's probably going to be worse. So you're at war with Ecuador, and you're at war with the Middle East to help Israel. And all your taxpayer money is just bleeding out the door, killing little girls. Involved in a war that you didn't have to put yourself into, that he didn't have to put you into, and he did, for Israel. Now, he ran around yesterday saying that they were going to replace the regime in Iran. And Iran answered him. You try to put anybody in our office over here, offices or the heads of our states, well, we're just going to murder them. So I guess negotiations aren't going. The art of the deal has become the fart of the deal. Because Iran said, fuck you. So the whole regime change thing is out. Because no matter who America tries to replace over there, they're just going to murder that person. Or murder them, the cabinet or whatever. Now there's been rumor and speculation about Kurdish people talking to Donald Trump about boots on the ground, being the first to be over there with boots on the ground. And Donald Trump's what's her name? Carolyn Lyon Levitz came out and said, oh no, that's all bullshit. Well, I don't know about that. Because see, in the political world, she can stand up there and say that with a straight face, and so can Trump. But what Trump will do is send arms to Israel, and Israel will give the Kurdish people the arms to go in to Iran. So see, it doesn't look like the United States did it. No. Israel did it. And that's probably what he'll come out and say, if it happens. There was a closed meeting with senators today, and they came out and they're just, the looks on their faces were just like, OMG. A couple of them had spoke out and said that he has no plan on how to end this war. None whatsoever. Nobody goes into a war. Like, you got to remember, we're talking about murdering human beings. This isn't a game. No one in their right fucking mind would enter into war at this level without having a timeline. Oh, there is none. And all in all that's going to happen to probably me, because I'm in Canada, so I'll feel the brunt of it too. And you guys, is we're going to be strangled financially to pay for all this fucking bullshit. And I guess that's what's going to happen to America until your Senate gets off their fucking asses and does something about this. All those people, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio, Pam Bondi, Christy, no, they need to be put on trial for what they have done to democracy and the great nation of United States. And I'm telling you, if you think they give a damn about you, they don't. They do not care. So there's a lot of talk about, oh, this could be World War III. What will make it World War III is if NATO gets involved. And today, it was kind of scary because I think Turkey is it. I think they're a member of NATO. And the way NATO works is when one country that is in NATO gets bombed, the other countries are their allies and they go to help. But thus far, no other countries have gotten bombed other than Israel, countries in the Middle East that are not members of NATO. And Donald Trump pulled out of NATO. So no other country, like none of us, like Australia, India, Europe, we are under no obligation to weigh into this war unless a NATO country has been bombed. Well, today, a bomb went flying towards Turkey. And that's a game changer if that thing would have landed. Luckily, it was intercepted. And it didn't land. So, yeah, that's what happened today. And I'm telling you, through the news, you haven't heard half of it. Half of what's going on over there. The death toll, you haven't heard any of it. And they're bombing every U.S. base and embassy, anything United States over there is getting bombed. And still, no plan of getting American civilians out of there. The American civilians are stuck there. Because that's another thing Captain Bone Spurs didn't think about. Is getting Americans out of there, or a plan to get them out. Helicopters coming in, whatever, before he started this shit. So, it's just getting worse. It is just getting worse. And like I said yesterday, Iran can produce these drones they're striking with. About 8 a week. Or 8, I'm not saying a week, but to every missile that United States builds, Iran can build 8 of these drones. So they're just going to keep blowing the shit out of each other. The Strait of Hormuz is still completely locked down. That's, like I said, where all the oil's coming through. South Korea came on TV today and said they have in reserve about 200 days of oil, and then they're out. Mark Carney, our prime minister here, was in Australia today giving an amazing speech as usual. And we're just growing leaps and bounds over here. And so should you guys. It's not usual that there's such a gap between our living standards as there is now. Matter of fact, usually the United States is doing better than we are. And we've made some changes over here. We've slowed down the immigrants coming into the country. We're doing massive house building projects. We've made it so that if anybody wants to come from overseas and get educated in our universities, grants, they can't use grants. They can only use 20% of grants. They have to pay the cost themselves. Because that was one of the things that was happening is people would come over and they would get a low-end job and then apply for all these grants and get into universities. But then once they got their degrees, they'd fuck off and go back to their own countries. So we put a stop to that. So that's slowed down. And there's a few other things in the works. But at this point in time, I got to tell you, there are a lot of Canadians that no longer feel that America is our friends. As a matter of fact, they're starting to look at America as being the enemy. I'm not one of those people. I don't know whether I think you guys were just conned by a president who said he was going to, no more overseas wars. He was going to put American first. He did nothing but lie to you guys, your blindness or anything. You were just conned. And the sooner you guys just admit that and get that fucker out of there and get somebody in there to make America first, the better off that you're going to be for it. That's the way I feel about it. And I mean, there is nothing new that's going on over there from a historical point or in this world from a historical point. It's all been done before. If you go back to, again, Rome, and you talk about Caligula, that's what Trump is. He's a crazy, entitled fucking piece of shit. He's not like you, and he's not like me. He just conned everybody over there. And he did a damn good job at it. Oh, Wonton Lover, just so you know, I hid you from my channel. I can see you, but nobody else can. I didn't get rid of you because I kind of like talking to you. So yeah, that's what's happening over in America today. And over here, well, we're just bitching and moaning about the price of groceries. Everything else is pretty much the same. Except for the $6,000 that's missing out of my bank account. I hope you all have a good night, and I hope you all take care. And I hope that Donald Trump falls off a porch or something. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Don't let it bother your day-to-day life. Don't let it bring you down. And don't let it make you feel bad. Bye now.